Yes, with this session, we will have a keynote speaker who is already here, and we're going to have a panel discussion. And as we all know, in the previous presentations, we saw that cybersecurity is really a very important and very discussed topic in recent years. It's important both for businesses and both for society. And I didn't know that there is cybersecurity unicorn in Baltic. So I would like to introduce a person who is working and having this company. And we have a pleasure today to introduce you to the topic of how cybersecurity companies protect themselves. I'm really interested to hear that. And I would like to introduce you to the cybersecurity technical manager of Nord Security, Mr. Andrius Januta. Please welcome on the stage. I saw you the whole day preparing, reading presentation. Was it the presentation or was it some work stuff that you were doing?
Both.
Great, yeah. So you're really prepared to do this.
Yeah, hopefully.
People are still coming. I know everyone is bit, after the coffee break, but let's have a chance to meet the Baltic unicorn of cybersecurity. The stage is yours.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Not many people still here, but however, so today I'm not going to give you a presentation. I want to share a story, and usually the stories are shared while having a dinner. So that's why you see a restaurant here. So today I would like to invite you into Nord Security restaurant. And as was mentioned, today's special is how cybersecurity companies secure themselves. So there was a lot of really good presentations today about zero trust and all these end-to-end encryption and how everything should be done. So today I'm going to share what we as a company do internally to make our company secure. And of course, this translates into the products that we create. And hopefully, this will be beneficial for you. And I was thinking whether today's special should be a statement, a question, or something else. So I don't have an answer for that. And as I said, this will be more like a story, my own personal story working for Nord Security. So for those of you who are not familiar with Nord Security, maybe you have heard the name Tesonet. So there was a lot of restructuring, a lot of reorganization, and Tesonet was kind of separated into different brands, and it became as an accelerator and as an investment company investing in different types of products. Some of you maybe are familiar. We have a Lithuanian basketball team, Žalgiris. We're also investing in them. And you might think, what's the point of that? Of course, one is probably marketing. Another thing that usually the companies that Tesonet invests, we have our own best practices, some know-how, knowledge. So we try to help those products, help those companies. It does not necessarily mean that we own those companies as a major shareholder. We might have just a bit of the shares within that product or the company. Sorry. So our corporate structure in terms of Nord Security, we're all under one umbrella company called Cyberspace. And you see another, you can call it competitors of VPN providers, which is Surfshark and Atlas VPN. Again, it does not mean that all of other products are built using our own infrastructure. So these are three totally different products, different companies with their own infrastructure, their own people, their own managers, directors, and so on. But I remember I was asking one of the co-founders, actually he was thinking, we need to be in the top 5 of VPN products globally. So instead of trying to be one out of top 5, why don't we create another spin-off product, and we can take all the top 5 products in the global market. So I guess this is what they did, and different target groups, different users. They're using Surfshark, Atlas, or maybe NordVPN. So I mentioned hypothetical restaurant that we're in today, sharing the stories. But in reality, we also started to build our own cyber city, so city within the city. So these are a bit older pictures, but you can see the progress. It's we should be moving in within this month. Why I'm showing is this because this conference, this first time for me being in this conference where I see physical security combined with the cybersecurity, because in many conferences usually there's only cybersecurity, and then we ask people why people who operate with the physical devices, they don't understand the relationship with cybersecurity. And we see in Russia's war against the Ukraine is that Russia is launching cyber attacks that has physical damage and effects on the physical infrastructure, whatever it might be. So there's a link, a direct link between cybersecurity incidents and attacks and what kind of effect it has on the physical infrastructure. So when building our cyber city, we also got an opportunity to work with the contractors and subcontractors, how to make it secure. So one really painful thing that every company has to deal with, so everyone, all of you who are working in companies, there's one thing that you always keep forgetting or you keep losing, which is your access card. You keep losing at home, you forget, you share with a friend, and we thought we have to change that so that we have to try to avoid as much as possible kind of sharing the access card, losing the access cards. And what is the only thing that you never forget when you go out of home, and which is personal? So it's your phone. So every access in our building will be via NFC readers. So you put your phone and you get the access. So this allows us to manage all the controls, and also we avoid the situation where a colleague asks you, can you borrow me your card? I need to go for a smoke. I need to go to take the coffee. I guess none of you will share your phone with even your friend or your colleague, because it may have another impact on your phone, because someone can access your phone, take the data, and etc. So we started to think how we can bring security from many different angles and on many different levels, so that and when people, and not people, but like our colleagues and employees, when they ask us why do we need that, I mean, it seems complicated, but as we've seen from the Samsung presentation, different generations, they use different technology, and we saw that the workforce is also mobile first, so many things can be done with a mobile device. So that's why we have to focus on that as well, and enable mobile phones to not work against the security, but with security together. And of course, Nord Security is known for NordVPN as our main and the first product, but we also have solutions for B2B as well, and white label product as well that we are offering. So working in a security company and in security team, I joined 3 years ago, so the security efforts were kind of scattered. There was no aligned security strategy, what we do, how we do. There was a lot of focus, of course, on developing a secure product and offering a secure technology for the customers. But internally, it was a bit chaotic and ad hoc efforts to protect the organization, because everyone who was working in cybersecurity, there are two sides. One is investing in the products that the companies develop so that they're secure, but you don't have to forget that there has to be an effort and finances allocated to making sure that the infrastructure of the company is also secure, and employees are secure, and the data is secure. So we decided that we as a team, we need to come up with security values that we want to also introduce to our colleagues, because companies also have values, but we wanted to add a bit extra mile and to communicate and be open with our colleagues and employees that we as a security were not that team that sits somewhere on the top floor or in the basement, and we don't want to hear those sayings that, oh, security again, security with this, security with that. We have to fix that because it's security issue, because security asks. All of this is frustrating, and not only for us as a security people, but also for the developers, product owners, technical managers, other colleagues in the company. So we try to follow these values that we set out for ourselves. And of course, another thing that I see in the conference as everyone is speaking, that there has to be a training and awareness programs, but it does not really work, or to some extent it works. So one way that we decided, instead of putting a lot of expensive solutions in place, technological solutions, it will never work, because at the end of the day, it's we as humans, the ones who are using the technology, and everyone says that human is the weakest link. I tend to disagree with that, because I would say human is the last link, because why the hell do we have so many next generation technologies, AI, machine learning, and stuff like that, in front of us, and they fail to do their job, and then we blame the user that he clicked on the link. So maybe the solution that we are having is not the right one, maybe it's misconfigured, maybe we're not using it right. Yes, there will be cases where someone clicks on the link because of the good social engineering aspects in the phishing email, but again, the technology should help minimize the likelihood of such attack to happen. Another challenge when I joined the company was, where do we place security team? In many organizations and colleagues who are working in other companies, usually security is part of the IT or under the IT, or it reports to head of IT or director of IT, which in my opinion is kind of flawed structuring, because it's like having an auditor reporting to the same person who looks after all the IT department, and some of the incidents can be put under the carpet, some things can be ignored, there's no budget, there's no priority for security stuff. So for some organizations it may work to report directly to head of IT, but at least in the companies that I worked previously and now, I saw that it would not make sense to have security under the IT. And especially because we have different products. So every product, if we take NordVPN, NordPass, NordLocker, all these products, they act on their own like small islands. Of course, there are some things that we share together with them, but again, there is no central IT that we all understand. So we had to sit down and come up with a solution, and to whom we should report. Do we report to legal? Do we report to finance? Because this would make more sense as a security to report to those positions. But I was lucky enough to introduced with a chief risk officer. And when you think about that, risks and cybersecurity are very close by and together. Because usually risk can be anything, from physical risks to brand reputation risks, you name it. There's a lot of risks. So security is just part of the bigger risk picture. So it made sense to then report directly to Chief Risk Officer, and underneath to create additional sub-teams of group security. And that's how we ended up having GRC, SOC, CSIRT sub-team. We also have dedicated AppSec, WebSec, and just recently the Red team. So in total, we have as a group security 30 people, which is quite a lot. Having this kind of all the Baltic countries, that it's quite difficult to find a company where security is bigger than 2 or 3 people. I worked in previous organizations where I was the only one security guy, and the employees was, I think, 2,100. Yeah, 1,100. So And as we also seen from the ENISA presentation, that there is a shortage of staff when it comes to cybersecurity people. So it's quite a challenge. We have a different challenge, how to manage ourselves within the group security, because it's easy to talk with your colleague when you're 2 or 3 person in a company doing the security. But now we have 30 people, so it adds another complexity level. How do we manage each other? How do we manage the tasks? How do we manage responsibility? Who does what and when? But although it may sound difficult and challenging, I would say it's quite good, and I'm happy to be part of that company and huge security team. So just quickly about the main responsibilities, what we do in each of the sub-teams. So as I said, we have web application and application security team, and there was a need because previously it was just application security team. But because we have so many, not many products, but the complexity of, let's say, NordPass, NordVPN, NordLocker, there is a lot of backend applications, APIs, infrastructure that has to be taken care of. We have to analyze it. We have to do security reviews. So it takes a lot of efforts and hours to perform that. And that's why it was decided to split WebSec and the AppSec, so that we would be more focused on specific things. So now AppSec is only analyzing new releases of our new applications, maybe new features, and then we have the WebSec. And of course, there is a lot of synergy between these two teams, because they have to share what they find, what they identify, and sometimes some of the issues affects not only the backend systems or the web application, it may have the effect that goes down into the consumer application as well. And not only that we do security reviews, you can see that there's a lot of other tasks that we provide internally. And we also try to share a lot of our knowledge, and we do internal trainings, because we don't want to build a castle around us. We want to give our old know-how, how to do threat modeling, how to evaluate vulnerabilities, how to do many other security-related things. And we're not trying to achieve to kind of make the developer to become a cybersecurity specialist. Although there is a shortage for such people, we believe more that if we give the right tools and the right knowledge to people, they will have the abilities to do certain security tasks on behalf of us. So, and we don't need to hire and grow our existing 30 people team into, I don't know, 50 or 60 more, which will become even more challenging to manage. Another team is kind of merged, like 3 different teams merged into one. So we have GRC, SOC, and CSIRT. So we're also building internally a SOC center or fusion SOC. And we also saw that the security does not scale internally. We need to have like a company within the company, and we as a security team, our goal is to provide the services for different teams or development teams or other products. When they need something, I'd say a security review, or for example, if someone, let's say Surfshark, they want to buy AV solution, EDR solution. So instead of that, since we belong to one umbrella organization, we can do a better tendering process. We can get better pricing, because we're not buying only for Nord Security, we're buying for other sub-companies. So that helps us to kind of choose a better solution. We have broader test cases and test users where to test possible solution that we want to purchase. So there's a lot of benefits and synergy in between that. And lastly, the red teaming. I see even today we have one of the booths offering red teaming services. We don't try to make everything in-house. Of course, we do the tendering process. We purchase external services and pen tests and so on. But there is one flaw with the external services, that they don't have the business context. Yes, you will get the quality service and the results, but it will always be missing the business context, because if you get a vulnerability report marked as critical, it's critical from their perspective, but not from our perspective, because we know what kind of countermeasures we have in place. Maybe we can mitigate it with some other things or other solutions that we have in the organization. So the context is very important when you're evaluating the security risks and the vulnerabilities. So that's why we decided to have our own red team, which will perform external, unannounced penetration tests, maybe physical security break-ins, and some other things. So of course they try to keep it low profile. They do not share that much what they do, how they operate, but we already had a couple of successful engagement attacks from them, which helped us to identify kind of the weak spots, and of course to improve that. Another area is the compliance. So everyone and many companies see compliance as just a paper check. Yes, we have ISO, we have PSI DSS or some other certificates, and that's it. From our company, we saw that, of course, when you go into B2B business, you have to have certificates. It helps sell the product. It helps to build the trust with the product and with the customer. So the certificates are important, but also it depends how the company looks at the certificate process and the certificates, because you can get those certificates that looks good on the paper. So we decided to set out that if we're doing the certification, for example, ISO, we don't want to make it that it looks on the paper. We actually want to improve what needs to be improved to achieve this ISO certification. And we also said to the board, and we got the approval from the board, that if you need additional finance, let's say to purchase certain solutions or technologies, to make sure that certain processes are secure, or we ensure that we kind of manage the security in general, we will not go, for example, purchasing pen tests. So the pen test can be done very on the surface level, just doing something. But we said that if we're buying pen testing services, we need to get the best company in the world that can do a good penetration audit for us. Of course, it will cost us a bit more than the usual, but this is what we agreed to pay. And also, there are other certificates like SOC 2 Type 1, where it's not so easy to just bypass your certificate if you look good on the paper. And we're also in the progress for having SOC 2 Type 2. So these type of certificates does not let you to relax and kind of pretend that, yes, we create security products and internally we do security. So it actually helps us as well to not to be asleep and always think in advance and think of new ways how can we make sure that we also improve our security internally. And another thing, we also had external payment providers that process the payments, but we have to rely on that payment processor of their security, how they handle the security, how they handle payment data and so on, and customer data. So we decided, since we have a lot of transactions, why don't we certify ourselves to be PSI DSS compliant? And we can process all the payments by ourselves. We will have the control of the infrastructure and all the payment data and everything. So again, this makes us as a company and our products from the customer perspective and from the B2B segment a bit more trustworthy. And I really I'm a big fan of social engineering and psychology. And going back a bit with this skills shortage, I think that good salespeople could be really good cybersecurity people because they have a good skills of selling stuff to people. So if we would give them the right knowledge to operate in cybersecurity space, they would achieve a lot when it comes to internal organizational security, because we as a security team, we also have to go to other departments. We have to sell that there will be a new security policy in place. There will be new changes. There's a new tool that we purchased, and now we have to implement it. Developers have to change their usual habit, how they develop the software, so on and so forth. Continuing on that topic, it also was published just yesterday. We managed to acquire and submit, and now we have 100 patents in the US. Why US? Because it's our main market. I guess for many of the companies, the main market is the US. And the reason why do we need to have patents is totally another huge topic and discussion. But again, for us, this shows us that companies, when it comes to B2B side, they can trust us for a longer period because there will be no other similar product with the same technology that we provide or we sell to the companies in B2B segment that someone comes up in 2-3 years and can offer the same technology for a cheaper price. So it helps us for the companies to tell that, look, if you purchase our solution, you can rely on us that there will be no other similar technology like ours because it is patented. And of course, we as a company, Nord Security, and like restaurants, we all strive to get Michelin stars. And as I mentioned, the social engineering aspect and psychology, a lot of things can be done if you incorporate this aspect of psychology. You have to build the trust. No one will use your product if there's no trust. No one will follow security policies in a company if there is no trust in security, what they do, and how we operate. So, the ratings are important. If we talk about our end customer, end users, there's a lot of reviews like PCMac and other. So it's important to have a trust and build that relationship on trust because people will likely use our product instead of our competitors if they see certain things that creates this trust relationship between them and our product. So for that reason, VPN industry in general had a bad reputation, really bad reputation, and still has, but we're trying to change that. And maybe you have seen Google has its own VPN, Mozilla launched its own VPN, so companies are jumping on the VPN train. Everyone now wants to have their own VPN solution or the product. The problem is that for the long time, VPNs were kind of behind the curtains. No one knew how they operate, what they do. Do they collect logs? Do they resell the traffic? There was a lot of unknowns. So we're trying to change the market. We try to also introduce some sort of compliance standards when it comes to VPN market. So we also do external pen test reports, as I mentioned previously. And all of those reports are publicly available. You can go and have a look. We not only do the testing of our consumer applications, we also do pen tests and security reviews of our infrastructure so that the customers or the people or users can trust us because we want to be open as much as possible. Of course, we cannot share all the secrets that we have, but some things can be shared. Okay, I have to hurry up a bit. But yeah, going back again into internal organizational security, what we set out to do instead of purchasing a lot of cool stuff and new technologies, our main target is so-called SETA, so security, education, training, and awareness. So again, the focus is to the user, to our employee who is responsible for security. And everyone says, who is responsible for security in the company? Everyone. So this is just an example of what can be done in the company. So this is not the full list of the trainings that we offer, but we identified the groups. So we have QAs, we have developers, we have system owners of specific systems. And based on that, we have to offer tailored trainings, maybe awareness campaigns. So you cannot use one tactic or technique for all the employees in a company. You have to find what works for a different set of people. So another kind of good idea that I guess is a bit underrated. It's so-called security champions. This was invented by OWASP organization. And the idea with the security champions is that we're not aiming to train developers what is cybersecurity and how to code in a secure way. Actually, most of our security champions, which we currently have around 50, are salespeople, HR, talent acquisition managers. And when I asked why you signed up to be a security champion, they said that, well, we want to have more understanding of what is cybersecurity so that when I'm hiring someone in the job interview, I could have a better understanding what is security, whether this person fits with our organization and our needs. Sorry, I will have to hurry up because I have 10 minutes. So all these programs sounds nice and cool on the paper, but you have to make it more attractable. There should be a catch. So we try to always, where we can, introduce this gamification aspect. So security champions, they can go through different levels. So starting from the white up to the last one. These are different levels of cybersecurity knowledge, and once you reach certain level, you get a physical badge that you can attach to your backpack, to your t-shirts, and everyone knows that you're a security champion. You have this and that level. And of course, there is a huge program how to go through different level and how to improve your knowledge if you want to be, at specific stage. And our goal is not to transform the person. If he's a good salesperson, he can be a good salesperson. Our idea is to have them as security representatives across all organizations. So when it comes to responsibility areas, we also had to kind of come up with a list. What do we require from the security champions? So of course, this is not the full list, but we needed to come up with something. So just the key things to highlight. So yeah, as I said, that person within that organizational team, he has to be a main spokesperson, of course. And why is that? Because if I, as a security person, would come to, let's say, a specific development team, and I would tell them, okay, you have to fix this and that vulnerability, and you have 1 month. Probably they would not they do not care that much, and you will not have that much of an impact. Again, going back to this psychological influence, people will likely trust someone who is inside or insider or part of their team to make security impact or maybe prioritize certain security features to focus more in the beginning. So that's why we decided that we don't want to spend too much time arguing with product owners, technical managers, why security is important. Let security champions do that job for us, because people will trust someone which is closer in terms from the work environment than me as a security person. Then another one, we try to enable those security champions to not be afraid to raise security issues, because I've seen personally myself that developer sees security issues, but he's afraid of his team leader if he will raise security issues, because this means that there will be more efforts needed to ship the product, to ship the feature, to spend more time on development. And usually those security issues are hidden somewhere. So with this program, we help them and enable them to not be afraid to raise any security issues or risk issues in general. And of course, if they want to level up and be more advanced, another key responsibility is basically then when you matured enough, you can then start to perhaps push certain security policies within your team. So instead of us doing that globally, we can provide the information, the guidebooks or the playbooks for those security champions, and they're the ones who are making sure that it's being correctly implemented or it's being followed. Another really kind of painful area I wanted to share that I hear many organizations debating what to do with local admins on the computers. And we also went back and forth with this topic, and I saw this, not sure if this is the original code, but I really like that. When people are complaining, but this is my own personal device. No, it's not. I guess this is an issue with the generations. I myself born in '87, so I'm probably millennial. So I understand that company device is not personal device. You can use it for personal use, but still this is a company device. Gen Z and other generations, they take it for granted that every company device is their own personal device, and you can do whatever you want. And why the hell do you want to remove local admin from my computer? So, and again, how to achieve that? If people do not understand, you have to explain them. Although it sounds kind of common sense, it's not. Common sense is not that common across organization and when it comes to employees. So we managed to remove the admin rights. So none of our employees have admin rights, but there is an application where they can request to get admin permissions for 30 minutes, and they can do whatever they want. And it turned out to be quite good because the employee does not want to take the liability of their actions. So if they download malicious software, that it will be executed and so on, he doesn't kind of hold this responsibility that if you have a local admin, that means that you can execute anything. But if you don't have local admin, that means I'm pushing this kind of responsibility from myself, which is good because we have antivirus software deployed on all the computers. So people understood the need of why it's actually now good not to have local admin on the computer, because you take less responsibility if the company gets breached. And we as a security company, we of course will start to investigate who had the local admin, when it was run, the software, and so on. So it actually helped us by explaining to people why it's a good thing, and it's not that we are trying to minimize your work or we try to limit what you do at work. No, we are actually trying to protect our company, our employee data, and of course we try to protect our brand image. So when it comes to tooling, again, a lot of debate that yes, open source is the way to go. I also don't agree with that. Open source is free, but the costs still are in using the open source because you need to hire then additional FTE people. Implementation doesn't cost that much, but who will take care of that open source solution when the person leaves the company? If he goes on sick leave, goes on maternity leave, parental leave, whatever. So it isn't free. So you have to decide, what fits the best, open source or commercial. So and try not to look from the financial perspective, what makes more sense. It should be looked at whether this tool helps us to solve the problem or issue that we have, instead of what I see that companies have the process or of the things how they do, and then they try to kind of adapt themselves to align with the tool, but it should be the other way around. The tool has to be modifiable, or the tool has to be adopted to the things that employees are used to do. So, because it's really difficult to change the habit. On average, it takes 20 days to learn a new habit or to change the old habit into a new one. So now imagine everyone should change their own habits just to use one tool. While in the company, maybe it makes more sense to change the tool or maybe modify the tool or maybe just buy something that fits our needs or fits our habits, how we do things. And this is the success criteria that we used for choosing EDR solution. Again, simple things, simple criteria that make sense for us as a company when it comes to evaluating the product or the solution that we're looking for. And this can be modified for any other solutions that we're looking, whether it's open source or commercial one. Since this was used for the EDR solution, there are such things as support. If you don't have a good support, maybe it's not the right solution, because then everyone will rely on security team to provide the support. If the vendor has a poor support, I usually tend to look at the vendors when we are purchasing the commercial solution as a partners, and I do not look at them as a vendor who provides us a tooling or solution. It should be looked as a partner and a long-term partner. And going back to the relationship, if you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, someone else, when you're going to someone with into relationship, you also want to have a trust, and you develop the relationships. You want relationships to last. So I think the same approach should be applied to the vendors. When you're looking for the vendor, what the vendor can offer you, and of course, when shit hits the fan, you probably will get in touch with the vendor to help you out with the solution that you're using. That's why another thing that we experienced, there's actually a private bug bounty company called Zerodium, which buys and sells different zero-day vulnerabilities. And of course, main clients of Zerodium are government institutions, agencies, and not only democratic countries, any governments. And there was a post on 2021, October 19, that they're buying remote code execution in 2 of our products. This was really bad, because imagine, I don't know, the same China, Russia, having a vulnerability that we are not aware of, and they can actually decrypt our VPN tunnels, VPN traffic. This sounds bad. It has a huge impact on our reputation and for our business. So since we had the bug bounty program on HackerOne, what we did next day, we increased our payout ranges from 1,000 to starting from 10,000 to 50,000 K, because we wanted, okay, let's throw the money for the researcher to go to us instead of sell it to Zerodium. So, again, going back to this trust and the psychological factor, that if there is a person somewhere out there who has a vulnerability that we're not aware of, come to us. We will pay you, maybe not that much as Zerodium, but it will make you feel more better and sleep better at nights, knowing that you solved the vulnerability not to the threat actors, but to a legitimate business. And last year's statistics, actually, the public bug bounty program helps us not only to, again, provide the trust for the customers and for the B2B segment, but also for us as a company, it helps us to leverage the vulnerabilities that we get reported via HackerOne. And we actually spent last year 65,000. It's a huge amount of money, and I fully understand that not every company can allow themselves to have that much money to be spent on, just bug bounty reports. But when it comes to that, it actually makes sense, and it's worth it, because either you close down your business, or you maybe, pay the researchers for the vulnerabilities that they reported for you, because, it might come the day where you'll have to, just go bankrupt, depending on the vulnerability or the cyber attack. So another step that we did, I think 1 month ago, we open sourced our NordVPN Linux client. Again, just to show that we have nothing to hide. But again, it's a bit underrated. Everyone is happy. Linux users are happy because it's now open source. They can do whatever they want. We also open sourced Liptalia, which is one of the core network libraries that is used across all of our NordVPN products. And the community can go reverse engineer it. And if they find something, they can report to us, and you will get paid. Maybe some of you also are doing bug bounty on the side hustle. Please have a look. You can report it to us via HackerOne. And if you manage to score critical severity, you might end up having 50K in your account. So lastly, again, just want to reiterate, when it comes to internal cybersecurity, hygiene and improvements, everyone is focusing on people, process, and technology, but all of that boils down to the culture. So every new, let's say, commercial solution that we're purchasing, let's say for static code analysis, that mostly will affect developers, how they work, what they do. It's not that we're changing the technology, the process, or we're trying to influence the people. We're basically impacting the culture, internal culture, because everyone in the company, as I mentioned, have their own habit. They have their own safe spots, how they work, what they do. So every security change or improvements actually impacts the culture. So you have to keep in mind that you're not only improving, let's say, technological stack, because by improving technological stack, it has impact on the culture as well. So when you think about, just try to think about that aspect as well when you're trying to come up with some new cool stuff, what to introduce or why certain things does not work as you planned in a company. So sorry for being too quick. If you have questions, let me know, or if you don't have any questions, you can catch me here. But yeah, maybe some of you have something to ask. No?
Thank you, Andrius. I would like to offer you a possibility to stay on the stage.
I have one last slide.
Okay.
Just to finish off. So I was your today's host, Andrius Januta. I hope you enjoyed my story. And if you want to ask me some additional questions, you can catch me on. So thank you.
You started with a cafe, invited us for a lunch.
It was a restaurant.
Restaurant? But
Yeah.
where is the dessert?
I guess dessert will be the panel discussion.
Good answer.